everybody, I'm Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to be showing you how to paint a really lovely scene of lavender with simple, fun, psychedelic butterflies. We're going to be using some fun tools today. We're going to be using Q-tips that are bundled together with little rubber bands, and we're going to be using sponges to get a really good blend, and my pouncers to get the little bokeh going. On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
He's going to be tracking me with our cameras and reading your comments so that you can see every part of the action at home. Let's go over the materials and wishes and just kind of jump on in to this really fun Sunday and very, very beginner-friendly art project. So I'm working on an ampersand gesso board. This is a painting panel, canvas board, stretch canvas. All of that is just fine. And today I'm going to put just one wish, which is that one of our very dear community members is going through a loss, and we just wish that she feels strength and surrounded by people that she loves. That's going to be our wish today. I am going to get the background in.
Ooh, what are we going to paint the background in with?
We're going to paint it in with these colors over here. Now, if you check the description below, all the colors for the project are listed, but we're going to start this background out with cad yellow, quinacridone magenta, and diox purple. I know this looks like it's black, but it's not. And listen, on this, you can do this with a yellow, a pink, and a purple. It doesn't have to be these exact colors if you can't get them in your area. You just want to make sure that you get the values right. And the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is a little diamond head palette knife. You could do this with a brush too, but this saves me money, over to my white, and I'm going to make a very light, and I mean so light yellow. And look how this yellow just tints the white, doesn't it? It doesn't take a lot of yellow. If you've ever worked with food coloring, you'll be like, oh yeah, I totally see what you mean. All right, so we have some of this right here. I'm going to wipe off my knife. Now I'm going to take just a smidge of my yellow, about that amount, towards my quinacridone, and we're going to get a slightly orange mixture. It's going to be a little bit yellowed, and the reason for this is so that we can get a nice gradation. My new mission is to get blends that you guys can do easily. So see where we got that mixed? And it's going to go right there. I'm going to wipe this off. The reason I'm pre-mixing is so that I can excuse me.
So you can cough?
So I can cough. Yes, I am pre-mixing with a palette knife so that the cough comes up clean and clearly. No, today I'm pre-mixing so that when I go through these colors, even as the acrylic paint is drying, it's still wet enough to blend. That's why I'm kind of hopping in this.
Yep.
So this little prep work will help you be more successful in your soft blends. Now the last one I'm going to do is just a little bit of my quinacridone and a smidge of my purple. So I want it to be purple-ish, but not purple, purple, purple. Right, like we do. And we've got white here, so we're going to be really lightening these colors as we go. I'm going to mist them with just water so they stay wet. And I'm going to start with a sponge. Now you could use any types of sponges, right? You could use a house sponge, a little round craft sponge, a sea sponge. I'm today going to use the little round craft sponge, mostly because I have not used it yet. I might get just a titch of the high pigment in there. See how I kind of did that? And I'm going to just kind of get this on my canvas. Look how I'm doing. Got little circles. I'm sort of blending it out. I'm trying to hide, right, any of like the little brush strokes or anything that I've got going on, because I want this to be very soft and blended. My pressure is light, right? If you were cleaning a counter, this would clean nothing. You're touching a sponge. You can see where the pigment's at. You're touching a sponge to the canvas. Now, if you're painting an economic canvas, I'm painting kind of an insanely good surface, so it's just taking the paint like crazy. If you're painting an economic canvas, you may find that you've got to hustle it a little bit more to push it in. I'm getting my orange that I mixed out and adding just a little yellow to it. I've got the white on here. I'm going to go ahead and add more white because our background is so light. So see where I've got the orange into that? And I'm going to just come along here, and again, I'm going to blend. See how the soft sponginess is helping me blend. But see where the high pigment is happening? where I've got high pigment, guess what I get to do? I flip over my sponge to the clean side and then just very softly rub. See how we're getting a nice soft blended background? If I lose any, I can go back into my original yellow and blend it back. Look at that. Look how soft that is. To do this with a brush can be really challenging for beginners. So it's really nice to show people how rouging, which is essentially what we're doing here, rouging our canvas can help us achieve some very complicated, very considered little backgrounds. Do we love how this is looking?
I really do. This is not really sharp.
Yeah, I love this. And then again, just blend, blend, blend. If you have any area that you're like, wow, that was like a little too pigmented, just put the pigment back. You're good. It's good. Now, as I'm going, right, I've got this nice pink over here. I'm going to get my pink just right onto the previously dirty side of my sponge. And I'll go ahead and pull some white in, right, so that we've got this nice mix. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any high pigment areas. And what I mean by that is like that there's some pure pigment like hiding out on my sponge waiting to jump on my canvas and mess with my blends. Don't mess with my blends. So here I am. I'm creating a soft, soft space. See how soft that space is? Right? Of just nice pink. Shouldn't take us too long. We're going to pull this back. If you've got to soften the circles, the shapes, the strokes, what's happening, flip the sponge over to the damp side. Sometimes I have to moisten it with just a little mister. And I'm going to just, see how we're doing? Soften. If it's too wet, it'll pull paint up. I'm just trying to create this soft, blended space. How are we liking it so far?
This is great.
So this is just another way to get it done. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just about how we can get these soft spaces to be well blended. Now I need a light area right here. And what I can do is go in right to my white. And look at this. I can lighten it right here. Isn't that crazy? How I'm softening this and making that white atmospheric space that blends it like that background before I even put a single bokeh dot on there. What? Yeah, that's right. Again, not pressing. If you look at it from the side, I don't know if the camera can catch it. This is how lightly I'm pressing. If I were pressing this hard, it would be too much pigment, see? On the canvas, too much. It's about that light blend. And I'm taking this white pigment and making this very subtle blended background, especially up top, because up top is pretty light, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Putting that wish in for Mona, because we definitely all know Mona and we want her to be well and okay. Now I made a little bit of the more purple here. I'm going to get some white because it's not dark. I'm going to come in the back area and add this little rouging of purple. And I call it rouging, in case anybody's wondering, because it's put on in a very similar methodology that you might to your own rouge. And artists use it in pastels and oils quite a lot. Acrylic artists don't use it because of the speed of our paint dry. Right? But because of science and sponges, it is now good for us too.
Science!
Science and sponges. So we're going to go through here, and you can always just get some pure white and make sure that you're putting in those distant highlights, right? Look at that. I'm just dancing those around. By the way, it's a great way to do clouds too. And we're going to paint the flowers in with Q-tips. And you can hear the noise. Again, see this soft? So tip, you need your sponge to be softly damp. Oh, look at how good that looks. Did I just spray myself? Right on the live? I did. Shh, shh. Nobody knows yet. Don't tell them. All right, so I'm going to spray this sponge. It's about keeping this damp, but not dripping. This can only be mildly damp for this to work. It's required. All right, you guys ready to do the dark below? So first, I've got to get a little purple. I'll let it pick into my pink here. I'm going to get some white onto it, right? Because we want that first color to not be dark. Right? We want it to be distinctly purple for sure. And we're just very light about it. And we just skip the sponge. I'm making little circular motions. I'm being very, very light. Very, very, very light. And then as I'm coming down, colors are getting darker, much, much darker. And so I can go right into my purple here. I'm going to flip my canvas over. I'm going to go right into this purple down here. See how cool it is? I will not take it past, if you think the halfway point, I'm not going to take it past there. But I will need to have some very deep color in the bases so that this painting has the depth I'm looking for. If I need to flip over to change the blends, I will. My pressure again, very, very light, very, very buffed. Now, here, I'm going to get more into my quinacridone, just right on the sponge, because it's a warmer area over here. There you go. And now I've got this pretty well done there. I can flip my sponge over and go right into my white. Even into my pink, I can go right into my white. And I can make sure that we've got an interesting blend that's soft. See that? Through here. So we're not building up these heavy spots. Gonna get white back again here. Real white, lots of white. Just pulling that in because we know there's a very light spot right here. You don't want to lose it. Is this interesting that you can do this much work with a sponge, or is everyone like, she's gone mad?
No, this is amazing. I love this.
Now, I'm going to rinse out my sponge a bit because it's just getting painted.
Now, Tracy would like
I
to
might
know,
even change sponges.
why do you have the hummingbird feeder?
This is not a hummingbird feeder. This is a paint puck water jar. It has a bunch of special features that help get the acrylic paint, or paint in general, doesn't just have to be acrylic, out of my brush. I am wringing my sponge out in my dirty towel. And it just helps me not have to change my water as much and make sure that I'm not carrying surprise pigment into my paint load. You can find them at paintpuck.com. They have little individual ones that can stick in the bottom of your jar. The bird feeder we're working on. The bird feeder is a new idea, working on it. Now I'm going to put out a little green. Did you guys notice the bit of blending kind of green and purple at the base and a little bit of the blue?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I have some of those colors. So I'm going to put these in now. I don't want to do them too dark, like too crazy, but I just need to have a titch of them here and there. I've rinsed out my sponge guy, so I'm not doing too bad. My trick is going to be, I'm going to take a little of my purple, right, over to my green. Look at that. It can have some white in it, but I've got to have like the purple and the green, because that's where we're going to get that weird color. I'm going to flip this back over so I can see where the heck I have things. And I'm going to just make sure that I've got a little of this right here. I think this is so fun. See, I'm just creating, imagine, one thing that might help you is if you think, oh wow, these are distant little bushes that are barely being seen. And I'm just hardly touching the canvas here, right? Hardly, hardly. And I'm just laying down this color. If you have to move your canvas, remember to move your canvas, not your body. So I'm rouging still with this green and purple. And because they're transparent, because it's phthalo, because this particular green and Doc's purple blend well, we get a very nice, soft aspect down here, don't we? And just be like, oh, my little bushes are here.
I love that all this is just coming together like, you know.
It just comes together so fast. Everything about this is initially at the onset very complicated for new painters, but when you understand what you're actually doing, which is creating soft edges and atmosphere, then it actually gets easier. You ready to put in the bokeh?
I am. I'm ready to watch the bokeh.
You ready to watch the bokeh? He's not ready to put in the bokeh.
I can bokeh.
So in my sets of bokeh, I have 3 sizes. I'm going to use a small bokeh and a medium-sized bokeh. I'm pretty much going to be just using a dry brushed white. So to get that, I take the mid-sized one and see I come to the edge of my paint and I swirl it. See, I'm swirling it. There's no water on the sponge, and you can see the paint's pretty dry on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm going to come make a very soft press, little bunch of lights. A couple of places, not a lot, right? Because I got to come back with the little ones. I think that's all I can get away with. Be sure to put these in water when you're not using them. I'm going to get my small one and do the same thing. This is a much more kind of thought about up close bokeh. So I'm going to come over here in the right and I'm going to do a couple more defined spots. Look at that. Yeah. Maybe make sure I can see you well. Now we may come back and layer some up front so there's some depth to this perspective. But right now, see, just some dry brushing and a little bit of dots, and look at that. I'm going to get this wet and flip this over so I have this in a minute to use. And I'm going to do the very easy work of putting in my stems before I put in my flowers and my butterflies. You guys ready?
You know, Laura was asking a quick
Okay.
question.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing today?
So
like, I've left no time for questions. I'm like, we are painting lavender.
Well,
And it will be relaxing. Are you relaxed?
Sip your bacon,
Laura?
or sip your bacon, sip your coffee. I've been wowing, and like there's a quest where you have to go get bacon, so I have bacon on the brain. So anyway, she would like to know, and maybe you could show this on the little palette cam over here.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking, could you do a bokeh with a brush, like a filbert or maybe a bright?
Yes, you can. I'll show you real quick. You can take a bright, right? You can load it dry on the brush. You can come to your canvas. I'll show you one here, and you can just twirl on an axis. See, I just get the corner of the brush loaded here.
You pirouette.
You pirouette your brush.
Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah, it's not that bad. They're wonderful little bokeh. Sometimes it's nice to go over your bokeh with the brush, and you can see it's not that different from the ones I did.
But it's not as consistent or fast.
It's not as consistent and it's not as fast, but it's totally fine, and there's nothing wrong with doing it that way.
That's true. Okay.
Now, the next bit you could do with a round or a cat's tongue, because probably more of you have rounds. I'm going to use that today. You guys that have cat's tongue already kind of know what this is and how awesome it is. But I'm going to use the round for everyone who does not have the cat's tongue today. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So some of these, I was thinking about using burnt sienna, but I think actually I'm not going to, guys. Just looking at this, I think it will look brighter and more beautiful if we actually avoid that. Isn't that crazy? But this one would go for it. So I'm taking my my Doc's purple to my phthalo green, and I am going to make some stems, right? And so all I'm doing is painting on the tip of my brush, and I'm coming up and making a nice soft line. Now I'm getting that line because I just dipped in water. Watch this. I'm going to dip in water and spill water apparently too.
That's okay.
I spilled. That puddle was a spill. We don't want puddles on our paint palette. Wait, I have a sponge.
You have tools. And
Look at that.
It's
Look how
an absorbent
secondarily
sponge.
useful this was in an unplanned way. What you're trying to do is you're trying to dip into the thing and then swirl around. That thins the paint, and then you can load up on the tip, right? So we're going to just make some lines some places, right? Over here is where we're going to have more of our cool lines, because it's not in the bright spot of the sun. So that's where we're going to focus these. Make sure you have some that are tall and some that are short, because that's what's going to give your landscape and everything around it some dimensionality.
Some variety.
Sometimes it's nice to also, and this is going to be kind of fun if you haven't done this, you know, just make sure you have lots of little lines to work with. And you want to cross them. Don't make them totally orderly. Then I'm going to dash some of these lavender shaped leaves in. Look at this. Ha! Some will be more green. Some will be more purple. But that's what I'm doing. I'm dashing in. Look at these dashes. This is very much the texture that you get in your lavender bushes, isn't it? Here's some more green. As we go, we can be more green. You can do them softly in the distance so that they're faded. See how if I go soft, it makes them seem far away?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're doing, is we're just dashing in. Dash, dash, dash. And sometimes I come the other way, dash, dash. I'm going to put a couple little leaves in here. I'm going to dash a couple there. Dip in my water, thin my paint. Right? Remember to move your canvas if you are uncomfortable. Move the canvas, not your body. Injury is going to come from moving your body instead of the canvas. Now I'm going to add my brush to my blue paint, and I may even get some white into it so I can really see it. I haven't rinsed it though. You guys notice I haven't rinsed it? And I'm going to pop some of these colors that I've got in the blue right here. You can even dip and go into your phthalo and even some more white to get like that really like bright phthalo. Look at that bright phthalo. Add some of these bright phthalo spikes to paint on, right? We're creating depth. Just create some depth. Now, coming over here, I'm going to rinse out. We have another little bit over here, but we're going to change some things. We're going to go green. We're going to take a small amount of phthalo blue and mix it into the green so it's almost turquoise. And then a good amount of our yellow. And then a bunch of this right here will be more green. See how this is more green?
Oh, yeah.
And let's fill that in. So all we have to do is just fill this in. Do this with a cat's tongue. Do this with a bright. Do this really with any bush out there. Brush out there, not bush. Probably, yes. Actually, you could probably paint with a bush. I bet I could. I'm going to get some more yellow on my brush as I'm going.
I would love to do that.
Paint with a bush?
We should go out into the woods, and I can go out and use like Boy Scout skills and go find things in the woods you can paint with.
Is it the John challenge?
I don't know. It's like, that just seems like, I know that there are lots of plants that are naturally brush shaped.
You know what? If you think you can throw me by doing that, you're welcome to give it a go.
That would be fun.
Okay.
It'd be the au natural challenge.
Now, I'm really warming this up. Can you see with my yellow and my white? And that's because some of the ones that are going to come up here are going to be more in that color, see? Where I'm going to put the lavender.
I do.
Even right here, there's another little bunch coming right here. Let's make these little leaves more this. And then I might even be like, oh, look, there's some leaves here. And then there could be some top leaves there. Just more yellow, more white as you get. You know how on the top of things you get a little yellow? Tops of the plants, not deep down into it, right? Where would the light hit? Can't hit the top area. That would be crazy, because how would it get there? Light doesn't just like travel through matter that way. Oh, look how nice it is when it's lit.
It's looking really good.
So pretty. I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to get back into some of the dark color I had earlier and just make sure that I finish this little fellow right here. Now I can even get right into the purple. I'm going to do a crazy thing with the yellow mix, but look at that. So there I go. Now it's fun because now is lavender time. It's sippy sippy lavender time. So putting the flowers on to me is like one of my favorite bits, because who doesn't like to grow a garden? And this one doesn't require like so much time and effort. And also stuff doesn't eat your plants in your painting. So I like that. I have tons of Q-tips. These are the kind of Q-tips. They're not Q-tip brand, actually. They're cotton buds. They are the kind for makeup. I think I got these at CVS. And I'm going to just get right into my pink, maybe even a smidge of my yellow, and then some of my white. How you do? Right? And let's plant some lavender. So we're going to just spike this up. Make a little spike flower by tapping it out. Look at that, another little one there. Oh, is there a friend? Oh yeah, he's got a friend. Oh, you could be right here. You could be more magenta if you want. There we go, a little more magenta is this one. Oh, little friend. Let's see how that's looking. Pretty amazing.
I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks pretty good.
Pretty good. Now I want to avoid the green. Even if I get purple into here, like I'm going to get a little purple on here and a little magenta and a little of my white, I don't want to get into my green. Adding a little one down here. If your colors are getting muddy, it could be that you got yellow or green into them. Just switch it out for a new bunch of Q-tips. And just pay attention to how you have the paint put out, because that could be where you're struggling. Might not be, but it could be. Make sure that you have layers of these flowers that are, you know, connected so that they feel like they're deep and they have meaning. Some are light, some are heavy, you know, just all the things. Like I might do this one more pink because it's more in that light space, right?
Yeah.
Now as I come back here, I can cool these down. So I can get way more into the purple, even though I have magenta on here, because we're cooling it down. If it's over here, it's cooled down. So you just tap that little spike flower. It's a shape like a spike. If you're not running into lavender, that's what it likes to do. It clumps up. Makes it such an interesting subject to paint. Oh, how's that doing? Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Now I'm seeing like a hole in the space. So I'm going to put a lot more of my magenta on here. So between here and here, I have a little more transitional lavender that's happening. So I'm just tapping out these little spikes. You can be super solid. They can be super open. A little more in my purple. A lot more white. Purple and white. Cooling it down.
Karen was curious. Are those the ones from leftovers from Made It Con?
They are the ones left over from Made It Con. I was so glad that I didn't have to rebunch them. We did blue bonnets at Made It Con on our ATCs.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Actually, that was one of the things that made me jealous of making them. I wanted to make some more.
You did. You were like, man, that's me. All right, now I'm going to take my purple into my blue. See how I'm taking my purple to my blue?
Take it to the blue.
I'm going to go ahead and get some white. But you're going to notice right away that that is definitely going to cool down the lavender spikes. Look at that, cooling down. So see how they're warmer here with yellows and reds, and they're getting cooler with blues and purples. Let's see how it looks. Looking amazing. Flipping over. I'm going to be mostly blue now with just a smidge of purple and some white. This is going to be the prettiest little painting, and people are going to freak out that you did it. And they're going to be like, I love how expressive you were. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm like that. I'm all kinds of expressive.
Huh.
That's me. Super duper expressive. Now, when you have your lavender where you feel like that's beautiful and that's full and you can really feel the spikes, I'm going to go ahead and layer a little bokeh. If you've got any white left, grab it. Right? I'm getting some of my white. You want it to be white, and you don't want it too loaded on there because you still got to do a dry brush. But you're going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to come and layer some of this bokeh, look, over what I've done. Now all of a sudden it has some depth, doesn't it? The bokeh has depth. My pressure is light because I don't want to put too much paint everywhere. It's just about saying, oh, this is layered. This is layered. And so it's not just somewhat in focus. There's a little bit of different focus. Oh, look at that. Different focus. Depth. We love a depth. The butterflies are going to be so fun to do. Doing this with the round is my favorite. This is the one I am going to get some black paint. You can use fluid black paint or you could use heavy body paint. I am loading my brush. Now you'll notice I'm going to dip and swirl it around to thin it. See how I'm thinning it?
Oh, yeah.
Dip. I'm swirling around to thin it. Here's a really tremendous point. This is my Art Sherpa number 4 round. Right? If you need to find any of these materials or objects, you can go online. I have links in the description. You follow them, it'll take you everywhere you can get it. So first, I'm going to paint in his little butterfly body. So I'm going to give him two little kind of like next to each other little dots. Right? Like he would have. And then I'm going to arc a little line down. Not very long. Right? And then he's going to have a little thorax there. Like they have. Now from his mid-thorax coming up, he's going to arc a wing. We kind of did this when we did the Royal Monarch. So some of you guys are like, oh wait, I know how she totally does this. I'm going to bring it down and arc it in. And then he's going to have a little round wing that's going to come out like this. And when you have the shape you like, go ahead and paint it in all black. There's a cool trick we're going to do. Right? So I've got it painted in all black so far, right? So now it's just a crazy big black bunch of mess on my painting. That's okay though, I'm not worried yet. So I'm going to take another little wing from the same spot, and it's going to be a little foreshortened, so it's going to come back a little bit thinner. See how it does? And its friend, because it's in perspective. And then I'm going to make another little kind of round wing. Oh, hey, that was easy.
That looks great.
Doesn't that look nice?
Yeah.
And I'm just getting this black in. If you need to dip your brush in a little water and thin it out so you have good flow, you can do that. And, you know, if you've got good flow and you can go ahead and make some nice little antenna that he has coming out. Look at his little curls. Just lovely. He's feeling special. Right now he's like a black scarab butterfly. But that's okay. Now smaller and over here we're going to have a little friend. He's a little smaller. Right? And he might curve forward instead of back. And he's going to have a nice little wing that arcs up and comes down. And another little round friend. And then this one can be also kind of in a foreshortened perspective. And then just paint that all in black. And yes, I'll make a traceable. John was so funny. Did you have a traceable? I'm like, oh, they don't need one. And he's like, have you been here? Have you met them? They're a community and they like a traceable.
They like a traceable is true.
They do. They like a traceable. So I am just going to let that dry. Like you do. And he can have some little teeny tiny antenna. Because he's smaller, right? He's a smaller little fellow. Now, on the edge of these wings, I really want to strengthen this black. It's not so important in the middle. But there's some of it you want to have be very deep black. So I'm just making sure that he's coated enough to read. Right? And then if the other one is dry, I'll come back and do his second coat. And if yours isn't dry, you can always use the hair dryer. Now I had a boo-boo here. So I'm going to just grab a little of my purple and a little of my white and just come on this side and look at that, fix it. Hide it in. Because what I did is I drug some white from somewhere else in the painting and put it somewhere I didn't want it. Now I need to make sure my butterflies are dry for this next part. So I'm going to use my hair dryer. And John's going to talk to you. And I think at this point you're like, I cannot believe we painted this.
This has been going great.
Isn't it just gorgeous? I wish I could do 100 of these. They would make me so happy. All right, John's going to talk to you guys.
All right. So guys, man, it has been, we have a full house of people today. I can't believe we've got almost 900 people hanging out with you. By the way, Cinnamon, we got almost 900 people here hanging out, by the way. And so she doesn't get to read the chat, so I try to let her know what's going on. But, guys, thank you for coming and hanging out. We love, love, love to be able to do this. This is one of our favorite things, is to get together with our community and hang out and just kind of do this. And it's just a blessing to have you guys with us. So thank you. Did you hear what I said?
That they're a blessing?
Yeah, before that. We got almost 900 people here. Like, I know. I was like, hello, everybody. They're all hanging out. It's actually, we got
drink a coffee.
We got 840 people right now.
840 people going dabba, 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 dabba.
850.
850. Dabba, dabba, dabba. Hi, 10 new people. Welcome to Art. It's really awesome. Everyone can do it. Come on in.
It's really, Cinnamon never gets to see the chat and things. So I try to pass it along every time we take a little break. So
I'm going to load my brush up with some white. I need pure white. If I have trouble getting that, I'm going to do this. Now, listen, with my golden paint, I could probably just paint over. But I know a lot of times you guys are using a craft paint or a student paint, and you may not have coverage. So I'm going to do the trick so that even if you don't have like really high-end paint, you're going to get at least a result. But I highly recommend upgrading if you can and when you can afford it. Just because life is short. Now I'm making a little teardrop shape and another little sort of wing shape.
Now we're trucking right along. We're at like 37, 38 minutes.
Oh yeah, we are like, and we're nearly done too.
I know.
And I'm going to make a couple little dots here. Now up around the wing, I'm going to get some white and I'm going to make just a few dots here and there. Because even when I color in the psychedelic part of the wings, they're going to have some white dots and you don't want to lose those. And you don't have to be too specific about it. I'm going to come along the wing here and very lightly, see how I barely did the white? And I'm going to do a couple little dots there. If you need to, thin your white with water. Don't worry about it. And do a similar thing on the other side. But it doesn't have to be the exact same pattern, guys, because wings are not necessarily mirrored images of each other. And you can just do the dots there. And if you want to, a little bit there. I like to come along the body. It's the white lining just helps him show a little bit. So I'm going to just give some nice little dots. Notice that I'm leaving space for the black to show through. If you lose your pattern, guys, you can always go back with black paint, right? I'm just thinning my white so it flows off my brush easier. Now, for some of you, the white isn't going to cover very well. What I want you to remember is that that's not a terrible deal. You just may need a couple coats. And when you can, upgrade to a really good white. That's one of the first paints I would upgrade. And I'll do some dots here, little dots here, because they're fun, right? So already, now he looks like kind of a gray and black butterfly. His friend needs some pretty sauce too. You know, and that's what you're going to be doing, dot, dot, dot. Definitely line. Just stuff to help the wings, you know, seem separate. When he's far away, he doesn't need as much detail. He just needs to be similar to his friend. See how we got? So now let's see how he looks far. Oh, he looks good far away.
You there?
Am I here?
Okay, there you go.
Was I not here?
I just, the audio I thought made a weird sound for a second.
Oh, no, I'm still fine. John can't see me. All right, so I'm making a little white in my pure pink pink pigment, right? I want my brightest pink pigment. And I'm going to just color some of these wings up here with a little of that pink, right? Maybe a little bit on this side. Just give your wings a little bit of pink. Then I'm going to go into my purple, still with my white, and make sure that I've got a little bit of purple on these dots. Paint it in neatly. Maybe fade it down here. And this can have a little fade. Do the same here. Just a little bit of fade. Just a little hit of purple. Maybe come up here and hit some color too. Right, purple and magenta, but just a little bit. We're just touching that. We're just thinking about it. Right. Now, the turquoise that he has, we can do with phthalo green and phthalo blue in an almost one-to-one mix. I like it a little more, you know, for this it looks like it's a little more to the green, so you can even add a little yellow to it if you need to. Right? Just getting that perfect one. I'm going to go. You'll know it when you hit it with the white because you'll be like, oh, there it is. Yes, that's exactly what you'll say. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to come back here. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Put some there. You know, just. There we go. How are we doing? Let's look. Looking pretty good. He still needs one more lightness in him, but we're getting there. Right? We're getting there. So we're going to make sure our little guy here is pretty colored up. We're going to rinse out. And the reason we're rinsing out is we need a very bright color. So we're going to take our aqua politely over to our yellow. Add a lot of yellow to it. And then get some white involved. Ah, there we go. See, it's that bright, limey kind of blue-green. See if I can find it where you can see it. But it's just got to be light enough where you're like, oh, I see it. Because the inside of these wings, I think I need to put out some more white. My white's too contaminated. It's too contaminated, dudes. So what we're trying to do is just get a brighter value. We like the color, right? That we just want a bright, 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 bright value. So a lot more white to it. So when we come here, it's quite light. That's what we're looking for. See that? Where it's quite light. And again, if at any point you lose your butterfly, let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing pretty good. If you lose your butterfly at any point, you can always go back with the black and put in the patterns. Don't get frustrated. Definitely going to be putting a traceable in. Guess what? We did it.
Wow.
You guys ready to sign?
Absolutely.
So you just take your detail brush and you load up some signing color. Try not to be too crazy. Like I wouldn't use a cad red here because you don't want to lose all the hard work of your painting to a signature. There you go. So that's art. Art is accessible. Art is fun. Art is for everybody. Art is easy. I hope you love today. I want to see a gazillion of them.
Oh my gosh, me too.
In the world. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I'm going to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.